Secretly recorded from deep inside the bowels of a decommissioned missile silo, we bring you the man, one single man who wants to bring light to the darkness and dark to the lightness. Although he's not always right, he is always certain. So now, with security protocols in place, the protesters have been forced back behind the barricades and the blast doors are now sealed. Without further delay, let me introduce you to the host of HuttCast, Mr. Tim Huttner.
Thank you, Sergeant-at-Arms. You can now take your post. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the individual and participants. These views and opinions expressed do not represent those of the host or the show. The opinions in this broadcast are not to replace your legal, medical, or spiritual professionals. Welcome to HuttCast 3/26/2023. Yep, we still have 4 feet of snow outside here where I'm at in the undisclosed location of a missile silo. Yeah, we still have that. And today's show is going to have Trump. I hate beating the trumpet, but we're going to do Trump in 24, nuclear leak in Minnesota. That's kind of a thing. And then we get to talk about Putin and China. China sending some weapons, guns, armor. Oh, yeah. Number 2 world, ask the number 3 world, what can we have? Stand by, we'll be right back. Buying a gun is no ordinary purchase. Whether you're a hunter, competitive shooter, or self-defense is your priority, there are many kinds of guns and many kinds of training programs. You use your brain all the time. You will rarely need to use your gun. Before you find yourself in a situation where you need to make a critical decision, make sure your training is the best you can get. It could be the difference between life and death, or freedom or detention. For the best quality training, check out permittocarry.us. If you live in Minnesota or Wisconsin or even Florida, give Gene German a call, 612-388-2403. That's Permit to Carry US, or call Gene German at 612-388-2403. Welcome to HuttCast. Wonderful, glorious, snowy, still day. It's a Sunday afternoon. Yes, as I said in my pre-roll, 4 feet of snow still around, at least a good 3. And let's get rid of some of this crap from our agenda. All right, as I said in pre-roll, Trump in 24. Now, whether you like the guy, hate the guy, you're a Trumper or Trumpinette or all kinds of these terms, these words, I don't care. You guys got to figure out whether you like the guy, you don't like the guy. I'm seeing some parallels here that Trump has done in his last 2 runs for president. One was the run with Hillary, and then, of course, with Sleepy Joe. Pay attention to his mannerisms. Doesn't seem to have as much steam this time. His first ever for 24 election, which I thought was okay, just seemed a little, how do you put it, lazy. Kind of sit back, kind of same old spew, same old stuff. Let's see where he goes with this, because I'm kind of the guy that likes to have people that we've hired to go in there and stir this up. We ain't there to be lazy. We ain't there to sit back and do it again. And Trump didn't do that the first time. But I think what Trump did, I think his narcissism got in the way. He had good intentions. Trump don't lose. Trump don't want to lose. And then you have to deal with that. So you got the narcissism, you've got the ego in play, you got all this stuff. But we hired this guy to do a job. I believe at that point in time our economy was better. And, of course, the Dems want to roll this out and say, well, Biden did that. Or it was because of the Dems, or it was because of whatever. Come on, pay attention. When was the last time you paid $4 for a gallon of gas on the Trump roll? When was the last time you had interest rates at 7%? And they say they're going to push the GDP to let the interest rate control itself by what? Controlling our interest as far as the Dems or the U.S.? They're going to control that? I don't think so. I think the market controls itself. I think it's a fallacy that the feds can control and up and down the interest rates. But I do have to say, as a business person in a democratic state, which is totally weird, as a staunch conservative, you get these people that have this false narrative of, oh, it's so much better, it's so much this, unemployment was down. It ain't down. They just stopped counting it. So if you're one of those people that think the unemployment rate is way in control when it isn't, you're part of the problem. But again, most people listening to this show are kind of a conservative mindset. I won't change their minds of being a Democrat, nor will a Democrat change their minds of being a Republican. However, what are we going to do if Trump gets back in? Have you ever thought of that? What do you think he's going to do when he gets back in? Will it be a vindictive run on anything? Is he aiming for the FBI? Because I don't know about you, I'd be pretty PO'd if the ATF raided my Largo area, Florida Largo, Key Largo, yeah, that's where it was, and started taking all my stuff, and they jump in there on Joe's stuff, and they jump in on Vice President stuff, and everybody's like, oh, I got some stuff there. Whatever. Come on, guys. I've talked about this in last shows. What are you doing with classified information at home anyway? Is your garage safe? I don't know. Does the Secret Service protect the garages of past and present presidents? I don't know. I wonder how much we're paying for that crap. So if you think about it, what are these guys going to do really? I don't know. But if Trump has his way again, my prediction, here's a prediction, and I hate doing predictions because of that. You guys come back and you throw me an email or a instant message and a hate book and all this stuff, and I get these constant conversations. You were wrong. Kind of wrong. It depends on how you look at it. What's your optics on it? What kind of lens did you have objectively? My thought is, Trump comes in, he makes this list. He has this burner list of all the people that wronged him. And he's kind of vindictive that way. And he's going to find a way to pinch the FBI. And for God's sakes, he should be pinching the ATF for all that crap they're starting right now with the tack brace and all the SBR stuff. And then he's going to go after Congress. Oh, yeah. Then he's going to start spinning that wheel. But will he get support? If he's that mad and he's that vindictive over it, I just don't see that you can win an election based upon hate. We couldn't do it the first time. And he's made enough people mad at him over the years. What's another 4 years? He's got nothing to lose. He's got to try. So pay attention how that rolls out in the future. Now here's a gig that I've been focusing on for a while. And it's DeSantis out of Florida. He's the governor. He'll make his run for president. Very conservative, American upright family. He is today, the Republicans were as Democrats decades ago. They are that type of people. And if you look back and do some history and pay attention to what today's Republicans are or today's Democrats are, they aren't. Today's Democrats are not what they used to be. Yesterday's Democrats are today's Republicans. You just see how they have that demeanor, the common sense. There's a lot of common sense between both parties. And we can all say that. That's the point of politics, is you get together and you say, it makes sense or it don't make sense. So where I'm going with this little rant is, if DeSantis runs and he can get the GOP nomination from those guys, and Trump can't, well, Trump will probably run as an independent. He'll have some steam from the last guys, but that's the trifecta of waste. And that'll push the Democrats right in first position. Because the people who are going to run and vote for DeSantis are probably going to vote for Trump, but Trump won't quit. So that's going to pave the way for the Democrats yet again. Again, just my 2 cents worth. How else could they make that work I'm assuming that the Dems will be more than okay if DeSantis runs and Trump runs, because that vote will never go Dem. Interesting, huh? If you think about that dichotomy of voting. We have two conservative sides, we have one Democrat side. All they got to do is nothing. And look at their last candidate. What a waste that was. I don't even know if you could put Biden in anything logically. But he's old. You think he's ready for another term? I don't know. They keep him on a chain. And you can see that when he goes to press releases and how they talk and how he does. I don't think they want me to say this. They want me to say, who are they? You're the president of the damn United States. You tell them what you're going to say. Not vice versa, unless you're a puppet or being told how to, what to. So my money is on DeSantis if this goes a little bit wider. Cancel culture ain't going to be working too much as far as any place else, because they just won't do nothing. They'll just we'll let them tear our own side down with DeSantis and Trump. So pay attention to that, people. Do your homework. And don't trust what media is telling you. Trust what you see. Pay attention. Use your eyes and ears. Use your instinct, your intuition. Stop listening to sound bites. Sound bites are the stupidest thing we could possibly do as a voting public. It's your right to vote. Don't waste it on sound bites or all this misinformation or the deep fake or all this crap. Your vote matters. Every vote matters. Especially the people that really, really want this to work and turn around. So don't waste your vote. Use it. Okay, Trump, do you have a chance at GOP? Let's see, what am I got in the show notes here? Yeah. That kind of about wraps it up for Trump. Pay attention to what's going on out there. Do your homework. Let's not waste this. For God's sakes, we've already had a whole crap sandwich of Democrats throwing everything at the wall. Man, they're there here in the state of Minnesota. House and Senate are controlled by the Dems, and they are just slinging it at that wall. I'm seeing so much stupid crap come through. I'm seeing so many red flag laws come through. Hell, I'm even coaching some of these red flag laws because, if you're not a gun guy, you don't get it. But the guys who are logical, they want to hear some proper information, and I get it. It's a very smart move. Get intel from everybody and make your opinion on that. So focus on that, guys. I'll have to sell the underground bunker and go to a Hawaiian island somewhere or some kind of a third world Jamaica. I don't even know. This is insane here in this state. All right, it is 11 minutes into this first segment. I'm going to pull a pin. It's kind of an opinion piece on Trump. Stand by. Let's talk about this nuclear leak in Minnesota. Oh, yeah. I got an opinion on that. Stand by. The current healthcare system is not meeting the needs of real people. People are demanding better care, better options, and want results. So Gareth Care has launched and is advocating for those in the U.S. and internationally, as people are realizing the controlled system has not been there for them. If you want your own independent advocate that is not controlled by big corporations, call or text and enroll today to get your advocate for your needs, serving all ages. For any healthcare need you might have, you matter. Here's how you get started. www.garethcare.com. GRAITHCARE.com. Call Gareth Care Direct 1-469-864-7149. Call or text a question to Healthcare Sucks and get an advocate with Gareth Care 1-469-864-7149. Mention HuttCast and you'll get a 10% discount on your advocacy bundle. And the staff at Gareth Care will take care of you. Remember to mention HuttCast, get that extra 10% off your first bundle of time. And this is all brought to you from Gareth Care. Welcome back. HuttCast, okay. For you Minnesota people. Well, let's say it for anybody. For anybody who uses electricity. This is kind of for you people. Okay, but not for you tree huggers, open-toe sandal, hemp-wearing t-shirt, Tesla driving, man bun, hemp t-shirt. Did I say that one already? Tesla owners. Because your cars don't run on fossil fuels. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it does. Coal. All right. Nuclear plant in Monticello, Minnesota. So if any of you have been paying attention, or if you've been under a rock, or wherever that is, you have to understand that nuclear energy is probably the safest, cleanest stuff that you can have. No doubt about it. It's more environmental friendly than you can possibly imagine, and yet it's the most deadly environmental fuel you could possibly imagine. Coal will just choke us to death, but nuclear will irradiate us to death. And what I want you to kind of know is, first of all, this ain't the first time this has happened. It won't be the last. And you guys you open-toe sandal, Tesla driving, man bun, open-toe sandal, all those guys, those guys who want to say nuclear is bad, fuel is bad, coal is bad, diesel is bad. You get all this bad. Well, what do you want that's good? Can't buy a horse because that's gaseous. That's bad. Can't have cows because they're gaseous. Well, you just go under a rock and die somewhere because you're sure making this tough on the rest of us. And that be your plan? Okay, whatever. But it ain't my plan, so don't tell me how to have my plan. Now, let's move on with this so I can stop ranting about these nuclear guy man buns. If you understand the basic principles of this energy, then you'll literally understand of what it is and what it can do for us. Because you have a steam turbine, which is a water product that it runs and changes states of matter and gas and turns to steam, which also pushes through different various orifices to create inertia and speed to spin this turbine, this 100-ton turbine that creates a whole gigawatts of power. So what you have to understand is when this becomes a thing to where you will no longer have fuel for your man bun car, and you want to not walk somewhere, I don't know how else to say it. You don't want diesel, you don't want gasoline, you don't want propane, come on. You got to do something. And in the USA Today, they said, most scientists says, if you do nothing, the world will fix itself. I've believed that for years. Because we ain't going to be around. We'll be dead. Ask the dinosaurs. So now you have nuclear fuel. All right. So if you understand, what I don't understand here is that when you have a leak, now this ain't Flintstones at the rock quarry. This is like high-tech, state-of-the-art, the best of the best, Nuclear Regulatory Commission. They got sensors for sensors, and they've got interfaces for interfaces. I mean, they got AI for this kind of stuff, and they couldn't find a leak? Okay, I get it. It's wet out. It's Minnesota. You have snow on the ground. You don't know if it's water from this or water from that, but for God's sakes, you're on the Mississippi River. And where exactly is this going to flow? Because in this part of the woods, you have a flow from, you'll be from northwest to southeast. That's kind of where the Mississippi goes through most of the state-ish. Then it goes into Iowa. Then it goes to the rest of the country until it reaches the Gulf. Once you reach the Gulf, it goes into the ocean. So let's go back to the beginning of this here. Because energy has different states of matter, because we have ways of measuring this is where I'm going with all these measurements on site. Let's just look at the simplest thing of a thing. Let's talk about a Geiger counter. A Geiger counter, also known as a Geiger-Muller counter. It's a device that is used to detect and measure ionizing radiation. Okay, anything with ionization. You look at a gun sight, a tritium gun sight. The front one, ionizing. You have the old school watch, the old big time, glows in the dark, all the dots have glow in the dark on there. There's tritium. No ifs, ands, or buts. There is a radiation coming off of a watch. So this Geiger counter is basically a tube containing a gas, usually helium, neon, or argon, which is placed in a high volume electric field. So this tube is within a thin wire inside this thing, and as each charged ion comes past it, which is called ionizing radiation, such as an alpha or beta, sometimes a gamma ray, it all depends on how sensitive your unit is. Yes, I have one of these. Yes, I did the study. What good prepper wouldn't have a Geiger counter? Right. Passes through this tube, collides with these gas atoms, causing it to then ionize to produce a free electrons. Now, these electrons are accelerated towards that wire. That is, it is a high voltage electric field, creating a cascading of further ionizations along the path of how this wire transmits, resulting in a brief but measurable pulse of electric current. So if you study anything in electronics, like a MOSFET, metal oxide field transistor, it takes a little voltage to move a lot of voltage, and then it's the field of which makes works. So the pulse of this current is detected and amplified by the Geiger counter electronically. It's circuitry. And then displayed on the meter is a hard audible click or a beep or a sound, or you watch your LED screen go crazy. The rate in which the Geiger counter beeps or clicks is proportional to the intensity of the radiation that is being entered into that tube. I can take my Geiger counter, hold it up to the sun, and this thing will start clicking off. Now mine's an old one, not very new, because Geiger counters, them are spandy. Someday I'll be able to afford a real one, but until then, I've got this old civil defense one, those old yellow ones you see in the 50s, 60s, 70s that were put in some bunker, undisclosed bunker silo somewhere. But I have one, and it does work. It's very archaic, but hey, it's a gamma ray. What do you want? And when this thing starts going crazy, it starts telling you that you're in a field of ionics, and then it's trying to, which reads in rads, millirads, and then megarads. If you're in the megas, you're already dead. Don't even bother. Just lay down and die right there. But why didn't this facility have these in place? A lot of people are jumping up and down. My kids go 2 miles south, downstream of the plant, and they're going to start growing 2 heads and have tail fishes, and everybody's freaking out because they ain't educated enough to dig into it and find out. Find out, people. Yeah, nobody wants a plant around their backyard, but everybody wants internet, and they sure want TV and their CSI or whatever you listen to. I don't know, Pokemon or whatever. You can't have one without the other. You need power. Or you man bun people. How are you going to drive to somewhere where you can protest? You need that power in your car. Go protest it. Oh, wait, you don't believe in diesel? You're going to kill the earth. All right, enough of my rant. Back to what this nuclear leak was. So here's a plant. And I would have to assume, and of course I'm assuming this. You go ahead and throw that out there at me back on Hate Book. I'm not making an ass out of either one of us, but here. If I was the NRC on a river going northish, southish through our country, wouldn't there be some form of testing? Wouldn't there be some kind of a fail-safe? Wouldn't there be bells, alarms all the way down the Mississippi? Aren't there stations involved in this? And the only people that ratted on this were the people themselves who found the leak. Yep. Sorry, guys. No two-headed babies. Not this time. And tritium is in everything. It's a naturally occurring element from our Earth. So that's what they say leaked. And this is what we have in place. This is the best that our NRC, our government, can do to protect us, to protect you. This river is not far from this location, undisclosed bunker. I don't see things glowing in the dark. But what I do know is some people say that the swans who migrate love swimming in this pool because the exit gas or the exit water of this facility is always warm. Well, it's a byproduct. It's a steam. You're creating heat and steam. So they're pumping hot water out in this area, and they love the trumpeter swans love to just kind of hang out and swim in it. Who wouldn't? I don't see any iridescent swans hanging out anywhere, do you? But you gotta stop and stop freaking out, because this is just not going to work. I mean, save the drama for your mama and the man bun people. if there was a real problem, I can safely assume, now I did say that word again, that bells everywhere will be ringing up and down this Mississippi. Nobody's going to have that much stuff in place and go, oh yeah, well just let us know if it leaks, okay guys? Let us know and we'll just make a report and set up there north and... no, not the NRC. Not in this state. The MPC, HCMC, all these guys, they don't let that stuff go. Everything's on file. Let's worry about tritium and alpha and gamma waves going into the water table of everybody southeast of that flow. Because that is where the water flow goes. So pay attention to what's going on in that too. I'm spinning my wheels going, why are you guys freaking out? I get it. You're not educated. You haven't done the research. You just want to jump up and down and freak out. Whatever you want to do. I mean, there's not much you can do besides suck it up now. What's it going to do? Have the regulatory commission bring huge cases of water to everybody? I think we can learn a little something from Michigan on this one. Detroit and their water crap. Really imagine what's buried underneath those plants. Flint, Troy, Michigan, all those big old school car lots, shops, builders, manufacturers. When DDT used to be just a lubricant, not a defoliant. I don't know. Got to ask yourself a couple questions once in a while and just focus. Nuclear still is the cleanest fuel possible. Its half-life isn't what they said decades ago. It's already starting to diminish exponentially in the storage of their device. The casks in which they have made are already emitting less and less energy. And how do you know 100 years in the future, 200 years? You don't know. I had a family member who used to make the casks and then do the pen raise of the half-inch, 1-inch thick stainless steel 306 and 316 low-carbon stainless steel. Best of the best. And they're still active, and they're not dying, and they're not rotting, and they're actually quite intact. Kind of an interesting thing. Focus on that. And the man buns, if you want to bring your diesel generator along with you while you're out driving around cross country, because you know that if we could only fix our line transmission problems, the amount of loss that we lose more energy getting it there than you're using. So if you want to focus on something, focus on transmission. As an infrastructure in this country, we still need that. Tenfold, we still need that. But that's what happens when you transmit AC instead of DC. I guess we all knew that worked out with the who wins the war back in, what was it, 1800s, 1900s? World State Fair? Is it AC or DC? Yeah, Tesla and Westinghouse. Yeah, that fight. Yeah, we're stuck with AC now. That's our grid. Okay, what are we? Oh gosh, 15 minutes of ranting on that deal with the nuclear leak in Minnesota. Remember, guys, don't freak out. Get informed, get educated. And we will, Putin's arms. Oh, that's going to be a good one. I've been doing a little bit of research on that one. More of an opinion piece, but yet, just wait. So stand by, HuttCast, 1524 into this segment. Be right back.
Need a quick, healthy boost to start your day? Try Superfuel. Superfuel by Casmo is loaded with vitamins and healthy ingredients that will give you a quick, healthy boost. Make Superfuel a great-tasting, low-calorie addition to your daily regimen. Order Superfuel at www.superfuel.me or call 833-FUEL-X12, FUEL-X12, or 833-383-5912, Superfuel.
Welcome to segment 3 of HuttCast. Oh, today's conversation at level 3 is going to be about Mr. Putin. I would imagine that the guys in the UK who listen to my show are going to have a little bit of something to say on this one. Feel free. I'm always available. Well, I'm trying to be. So, in the news this week, Mr. Putin and China got caught doing some deals. Some deals with weapons, arms, body armor. Norinco, the number one largest contractor, which is really not a contractor, it's kind of like China government, Norinco, has been caught giving aid to Russia, to Putin. Now, if anybody's ever been in a war, I mean, any country, you know that everything goes towards the war effort. There's no in between. There's no, hey, we're going to just have a war and have all their stuff too. It doesn't work that way. You got guys on top of guys who are constantly trying to fight for equipment, pieces, parts. They're struggling. Not to mention that Ukraine was supplying some of Putin's stuff. So therefore, you don't have enough supplies. You don't have enough food. I mean, whatever his backstory is over there, he runs to China on this. Now, if I remember right, China got pinched for giving Afghans some of their Norinco stuff, some of their AK-47s that they built, because Norinco is a gun dealer. I mean, it's a weapons defense program. It's their whole thing. How do I know this? Because I actually own a Norinco AK-47 knockoff of a Kalashnikov AK-47. They also make the SKS and the AKS gun. It's just a standard issue, military grade, been around for 100 years, of the actual Kalashnikov one. If you could get the originals these days, they bring pretty hefty penny at gun shows and or online deals. So Putin goes out and he goes, hey, we're running low on supplies. We're going to need A, B, and C. China jumps in, starts feeding these guys. Now what do you think's going to happen? Let's look at the big picture here. You're the number 2 and number 3 superpower in the world. Well, what about us? We're supposed to be number 1. If you take 2 and 3 and stack them against number 1, it just is not going to happen. You will get crushed. Who's going to help us? Ukraine? No, I don't think so. They're doing good. You know, they're doing better than most people thought they would do. But they're not excelling. But let's ask some questions here. All right. Let's circle back to this Norinco program. Didn't we give, as the U.S., a bunch of aid to Ukraine? Didn't we feed those guys like some huge amounts of cash so they could buy weapons? And didn't we sell them or give them or whatever this is ways and means to do stuff? Are they buying the Norinco program? Or do they buy from China? Now, if you get into this USA Today program and you see these pictures coming out of Ukraine and China about these Norinco stuff, what you will see is a standard issue AKSK. You will see whatever their choice of weapon is, but you will also see the AR-15 platform or the M16 with the A2 bridge on the front. Fixed sight, big hand grip, old school, designed in the U.S., built by U.S., rebuilt by Norinco. Uses the 223 ammo, 5.56 green tip. It's a standard issue thing. Where'd they get that? Where'd they get those plans? I mean, it's not like it's hard to reinvent. They're the masters of knockoff. And we're the ones, like, giving people money to give to our enemies to give it back to ourselves? How does this circle of life go for this cash? Your cash, your money. Now, this is not a party thing. This ain't a Dem. This ain't a Republican. This should be a pissed off thing for you guys. You're giving your money, well, they are giving your money to a country so they can both fight each other with the same equipment. We give it to Ukraine, which buys it to China. We give it to China, which goes into manufacturing. We got to stop giving. Either they become part of the accord or they don't. If you're not part of this treaty, then I get it, and we feel sorry for you guys, but you guys who are in the trenches are not the ones making the decision over in Ukraine. Sorry, Ukraine listeners, that's just how it's happening. You don't make those decisions. You get to fight them. You get to die for them. You get to lose family members because of them. But you ain't the guys making the decisions. How's that sit for you? That just sucks. I'm sitting here in my safe bunker, and I'm thinking that's a total suck show. We're paying for it. We're helping you pay for it. We're helping China pay for it. China's helping Russia pay for it to come back and throw them at you. This is insane. The kind of turnaround this is. The servant of war is war itself. And how do you stop that? Well, I guess it all goes back to the take that wall down thing, doesn't it? Disarm this border, Mr. Gorbachev, Mr. Reagan. Make the plan. Let's not stir this hornet's nest up another 2 decades, 3 decades. Because it's going to come back to bite us. Here we are, chomp, chomp. We're getting bitten on. We're paying for it. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of done paying for that kind of stuff. We're going to help. We're both in. Both feet, all the way. We're not going to help. Stay out of it. I think we did that in Korea. We did that in Vietnam. Oh, wait, let's not forget the fact that we pulled out of Afghanistan with half our stuff there. True, mind you, it's not like they're going to fix it and operate it. I mean, can't put it past them. You can't leave it there. One more of our American soldiers get bit by our own stuff. Huh. Unbelievable. So, listeners out in the world, if you're listening to me, what are your thoughts on that? Throw it to me on the old hate book. Throw it to me in Messenger, whatever this gets spun up next. What do you listen to? Whatever your podcast comes to. Because I know this don't make any sense. How do you stop the government from doing stuff? I can't. You can't. You can try and vote it out. That don't work. In this last segment, we were talking about, well, actually, the first segment, we were talking about Trump and how he does stuff. You do understand why Gorbachev pulled the trigger while we had the weakest president in American history in there, right? You don't even know what you have for breakfast, let alone whether you can push a nuke. Makes you think, doesn't it? Makes you pump the brakes just a whole little bit and say, oh, I don't think so. Research it. Do some homework. I personally am flooded with grandeur ideas of how this can even constantly work to itself. We give to China, which China gives to Russia, which we give to Ukraine, which gives back to China. I think if I was the guy in this mix, I'd kind of want to be China. Made in China. No kidding. Given to China. All right, let's sell everything through China. I mean, it's not like it's nice stuff, but it's still stuff. You can still throw bullets with those equipments. And the body armor? If I had no armor, I would take a Chinese body armor. If I had a choice, I would be taking U.S.-made body armor. And I guess if you're a Chinaman looking for China equipment, would you take China equipment? I don't know. If it works that way. I certainly don't want the largest Norinco plant on the planet to make body armor in a second world kind of a crappy format. I don't know. I don't get it. And I don't know how much body armor, even if it's a threat level 3A, 4A, or if it's even plated steel, what'll stop an AK or an SK rifle round. That's a whole lot of speed. I can't imagine what would be left of your chest if you does get hit, or like a big 50, a BMG 50. You're stopping that. It's going to go right through you. Your engine blocks won't stop it. So you think your cavernous chest of muscles is going to stop that on top of a plate? Nope. Not going to happen. So this is the thing that we shall be paying attention to. Contact your people, your congressman, say, why are we giving aid to China so they can give it to Russia, so we can by proxy be fueling this crazy war. Not our war, I might add. Their war. Sorry, Ukraine, it is your war. The Russian guys, I don't even know if they've even let me back in that country yet by transmission of my podcast. But if you are listening, that's how this circle's going as we're seeing it in the world now. So I don't know if that even makes sense. Remember, they are giving our money to China to help Russia, and we are giving our money to Ukraine to give to China to help them fight the Russians. It's some kind of a paradox of some sort. Maybe this is one of those quantum leap time TV shows that just haven't played out yet. We're going to look back and go, what? I do what? So on this 3/26/2023 glorious Sunday afternoon with at least 4 feet of snow on the road, I got to pull the pin. I got to rest my voice. My head hurts from thinking of all this paradoxical crap. You have a wonderful rest of the day. May your rest of your sunny Sunday will be filled with joy. And keep thinking the thinking. Let common sense be common, people. I'm losing it every step of the way, figuring, well, how do we undo this? How do we fix this? And more and more I'm beginning to think that we can't fix it. We can't even vote it out. But we can all take each personal responsibility and do what we should be doing the best way we should do it. Common sense. All right, HuttCast, pull the pin. Have a great Sunday. Catch you next time. And hopefully I'll have a doctor from Texas who's being run through the ringer like our doctor from Minnesota, Dr. Scott Jensen, who ran for governor, being cancel cultured. Oh yeah, I want to get that show going. We have such a paradox, not to overuse that word today, of these two guys going through the same crap. What I'd like to do is to put Mr. Jensen and this doctor from Texas, I can't say his name yet, on the same show. And just hear the similarities of cancel culture and, oh yeah. I'm crossing my fingers that we can make that one work. We'll produce that one. It'll be an excellent show. All right, be well. Have a wonderful Sunday.
And that's a wrap for HuttCast. HuttCast is, again, a pragmatic approach to seeing things how some people see them. If you like our show, give us a thumbs up on the Facebook site. Again, for HuttCast, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.